The equipment system in Supervive can be a little bit tricky to understand and has changed a lot over the span of its production. So whether you're a beginner to the game or you've played before and are getting back into it, I'm here to give you guys an explanation for how the equipment system works and tell you guys just all I've learned from my 800 hours of playing this game so far. So the first thing you're going to notice is that when you log into a game of Supervive, when you load in, you're going to be given a couple options by your character's name in the top left corner. Those are going to be essentially different types of core builds that you can use. You can use a build that'll give you 2 damage items, a build that'll give you a damage item and a tank item, and then a build that will give you 2 tank items. When you spawn into the game, you're going to be given these core basic equipments that don't have anything special about them other than the main stat. The main stat of ability power, which is damage, that scales each individual ability differently and how it actually works. Or you're going to be given a helmet that gives you some extra HP, or some combination of those depending on what you chose. The health on these helmets scales based off your character's basically tankiness stat, and so it changes per character. A character like Kingpin here will get a lot more. A character like Shrike will not get much out of it. So that's the core main stat, and whether you have 2 damage items, 2 tank items, that'll determine how much HP you have and how much damage you have. Some characters are built to have a couple different builds, which I will explain in my build guides that I have on my channel also. But most of them are going to be pretty locked into what they want to have. Like I said, a character like Shrike not going to do too well with the tank items because she doesn't get much scaling from it, and also because she gets a lot of scaling from the damage, right? So now that you have your basic items and you've chosen them and you've gotten into your game of Supervive, you're going to walk around and you're going to find camps. When you kill these camps, they're going to drop these little things here, which I actually just picked up one. These little pink things here, which are called pips. These will give you the ability to upgrade your ability here. Let me kill this guy before he just sits here and murders me the whole time. But when you pick it up, you'll see it upgrade to an option. When you're in the practice range, for some reason it doesn't let you choose, but when you are not in the practice range, it will let you choose. And so this is how you do the basic upgrading of them. This will let you choose between the 3 evolution, or a couple evolution paths, I believe it's 3 for each evolution paths for what you want the item to turn into. So if you have a dagger, it can turn into a tech blade, a mana blade, a vampiric blade, or a quick blade. And a little animation will pop up right here in the bottom right corner that'll let you choose which one you want. And the same thing with the helmets. That will give you either a mana helmet, a bladed helmet, or a tech helmet. Once you have that and you have a white item, you need to continue killing mobs, and they will give you more of these pips, and the pips will constantly upgrade it from left to right. It does the first one first. In this equipment XP, you can see in the bottom right corner showing you how many you need, and then it does the next one, and then it goes back and it full upgrades the first one, and then it full upgrades the second one. But eventually you will get it up to the blue level. So it goes, from the basic, no bonus stat, to the secondary, and then to the 3rd level. When it evolves the first time into a tech blade or whatever item you've chosen, you get an additional secondary stat. So as you can see here, I'm being given ability haste, which is cooldown reduction. And so you can choose for each item what you want. The tech blade here gives ability haste. The mana blade gives you back extra mana and then mana regeneration. And the vampiric blade gives you omnivamp, and the quick blade gives you movement speed. Same thing with the tech helms. You have your original base stat, your HP in this case, and you get extra mana. You get some cooldown reduction, or in the case of the bladed helmet, it's a little bit different. It's actually like a half item, so you get half the damage and half the HP. And then you get a bonus ability of movement speed. So when you keep upgrading these, you're going to eventually upgrade them until they are an extra level item. This one automatically selects into the purple, so it's going to automatically upgrade it to you. But as soon as it hits blue, which is the 3rd evolution level, like I said, from nothing to white to green to blue, it will let you choose an evolution path. And the evolution paths are going to give you an additional effect on it. So I'm going to run through those really quick. For the Interweaver, or for the Tech Blade, you're going to have the ability to choose Interweaver, which is going to give you the ability to launch a secret missile when you deal damage after having used an ability. That just basically is just giving you some true damage, extra just buff of, I guess not true damage, but damage that will always hit, right? Yeah. Anyway, Power User, that will give you some power cooldown reduction by 10%, and then 10% for each vault your team successfully has hacked, up to 2 bonus stacks. When you hit 2 stacks, your powers are soulbound, meaning you can no longer lose them. These, powers down here. Amplifier is going to make it so your abilities fetch 5% faster, stacking max 10 times until you cast a different ability. This one's a little bit tricky, so I'll show you how it works. Every time you dash, you're going to get a stack, or use your ability, you're going to get a stack in the corner. Right, so I'm dashing, so I have 3 stacks. So I have an additional 15% cooldown reduction every time I use it. Right, now we're at 4, 5. However, and like this is going to let you do a lot of cool things, like in this instance, like traverse around the map a lot, right? Cool. But when you use it, it cancels. So, or when you use a different ability, it removes all of it, right? So I use my hook now, and now my hook's on a 5% instead of my dash being on 40%. So that is how that one works. For the other blade ones, we have a Mana Blade, which gives you, the first one is Mind Blade. Landing your non-LMB abilities against Hunter grants you an additional amount of mana and restores 2 times that much. After certain activations, the item transforms into another version, like a modified version of Mind Blade called Apotheosis, which gives you extra HP or AP, so extra damage power, equal to 8% of your bonus max mana. And then alternatively, you have Rampage that lets you get an additional stack for casting abilities or hitting basic stacks that last for 3 seconds. And if you can stack up 10 of them, you get 50 AP. And then Bubble Blade that applies a shield equal to 25% of the heal. With these, some of these are kind of imbalanced. Some of them are strong. I have like a build guide out for every character, so you can go and look at specifically what you're looking at. But the Rampage and Mind Blade got nerfed a lot. Bubble Blade, you're going to want for sure on HP characters. And it's honestly, you're probably going to want to run Mind Blade pretty consistently on this one. Rampage, if you have a character that can get it off. The Rampage is just the better one, actually. For the... Oh, I need to not have this picked up. For the Vamp Blade, you're going to have Swift Blade. Moving and attacking builds charges at 100 charge. The next attack deals plus 20% damage. Grants a decaying burst of 75 speed and heals for 50. Yeah, pretty simple. Last Stand, falling below 40% HP, grants you 5% Omnivamp and 50% bonus healing from all sources. That one's really useful. This is probably the strongest Vamp item. Quite powerful in my opinion. And then Overdrive, where you get plus 3% Omnivamp, and then at full health, your Omnivamp generates a shield equal to 100% of the amount healed. This also can be quite useful in certain characters, like Felix, that can pre-pop another type of shield, or his fire spin to give him bonus shield that's going to let him stay above his max HP, but he can actually keep stacking this up. So that's another potential option with this character. And then on to the Quick Blade for our last set of blades here. The Quick Blade has Grace. You're going to get plus 50 movement speed while you have full health. So to show you, like, I have a pretty noticeable movement speed increase here. While my HP is full. Big Game Hunter, this one's a little bit tricky. You're going to get 5 movement speed for each boss your team has killed, up to 15. Major bosses count for 3 times that. And so you get some extra movement speed. It's pretty useful, but it can be a little bit difficult to stack up. So this is maybe not the best one. However, at 50 movement speed, you gain AP equal to 25% of your bonus movement speed. So you gain 25% of your bonus movement speed as AP. So with the current number you can stack it up to, you can get up to 15 which I believe is 5 movement speed for each boss your team has killed. Might be 15 bosses you can kill, I believe is what it would be. And so you're only going to be looking to get 75 bonus total total movement speed, which you're only getting 25% of that as AP, so not anything too crazy. And then you have something like Turbo Boost that gives you an additional movement speed boost when you dash. So you dash and then it decays and getting some movement speed that goes down. This one's a pretty cool thing and actually very viable on characters like Shiv. All right, really quickly onto the mana helmets and the other helmets here. The mana helmet, you have Glacial Comment. Your non-LMB abilities. It's also Lava Projectile. It deals 50 plus 4.5 damage and slows it in AoE. It has a 10-second cooldown. So basically, when you I'll go show you how it works because it's a little bit funky. When I land something like this, it just kind of launches this circle. It takes a while to activate. I don't really think it's that great. I don't use it, so that one is not my slice of tea here. Then you have Scholar. Every minute you're in the game, you gain an additional stack of HP and mana, and it stacks up to 8. And then yeah, so you're just getting bonus stats over time. This one is useful if you have a very mana hungry character. You're going to want to go ahead and use this one, unless that character is also really good with Brush. So Ambrush here gives you an additional 1.5 times damage to armor, increased to 3 times in Brush and for 1 second after leaving it. You also can spawn Brush just by standing here, and though this is the Brush here. And I'll just stand still and then a Brush spawned, right? And so this can be really useful just to pop up one in an area that people don't really expect that seems like it could have a Brush, just to kind of, knowledge check people. And also just have something to just get some bonus armor damage if you sit around and you're playing a character that can apply some ranged poke and wants to be half tanky. So maybe a character like Bishop, right? You just poke at people's armor and then you are breaking that down really fast, which is super useful. Which, if for those you don't know, that gives damage resistance, and then it gives 0 damage resistance when it's broken. So really, really useful to crush the enemy team's version of that. All right, so for the bladed helmet, you have a couple of options here. This one's really just a very strong little stat stick. You get extra AP equal to 5% of your bonus max health, right? So when I'm on a double tank build like this on a character like Kingpin that gets a lot of HP, extra HP from these HP items, I'm gonna be I would potentially use something like this, right? So my base damage, my extra AP is 90 before I use this, and it goes up to 134 just for picking it up. So I'm increasing my AP by 50% just by picking Helmet Gigantism. That's a very powerful option there. Additionally, you have Greed. Greed is when your money stacks up to 4,000 and then 8,000, you get again, it consumes it and then it gives you a set of stats. So it gives you basically every bonus stat in the game. So you get Vamp, movement speed, mana, regen, mana, and then CDR. This is pretty useful, but it also is hard to get and it competes with Helmet Gigantism. So Helmet Gigantism is usually just the better option to go for, to be honest. And then you have Perseverance. After 3 seconds of combat, your next LMB on an enemy hunter heals you for 2% max HP and damages them for 2% max HP, and then adds 3 permanent max HP. So you get HP, damage HP of enemy, and you get permanent max HP. The numbers on this are just not quite good enough, so I don't ever use this one. Even though I do play these characters that use these things often. So, what does that tell you? And then we have the tech helm here. You have Garden's Respite, which gives you a 15% max HP shield that just regenerates out of combat after a delay. This is very, very good. Just, again, extra stats are just very valuable. 5 Infuser, you regenerate more HP out of combat, which is pretty useful. You're looking at just the ability to not have to use some of your consumables when you're walking around. It's pretty nice. But the more important thing is that when you dash, you heal for 3% max HP instantly and then additional 3% HP over time on a 5-second cooldown. If you're on a character like Kingpin that does need to dash around, this can be quite useful. I still think Guardian's Respite is just better overall, but this is potentially valuable. And then you have Soulbound. You tether to your closest ally, taking 25% of their damage for them. And so this is a useful little power here, and I might be able to show you guys how it works with this capture ball here. If I capture one of these guys, yep, and you can see that I have this little tether here that means that I take 25% of their HP. Again, it's useful, but it's kind of like competing with something that gives you just 50% base extra HP, and so it's kind of like, why would I go for that when I could just give myself more HP? That regenerates over time out of combat also. So, having said that, it's, you know, you are locked into your core base setup whenever you load into a game. So if you load into the game, you know, you go the half tank, half damage build, you're gonna have these variety that you're gonna be able to upgrade into one of these 3 or the 4 damage items or the 3 helm items. However, you can go to a shop that is around the map and you can buy a replacement, or you can also find them on the ground. That's really, really useful. Because, you know, I played a playtest in which I accidentally dropped one of my items and I could no longer get it, and I was losing literally half of my damage capability or my HP capability from it. And it was a definite struggle. So, in addition to the standard forms of equipment, there is also another one here. We have the boots. So your boots are going to start off white tier, of course. When they get to tier 3, they're going to evolve into one of these 3 options. I can't actually show them to you because I can't get my boots upgraded in the practice range right now. But this chain jump one is actually one that is new, and it lets you increase your jump height if you just bounce. So it's like you're playing Mario. Like, you literally just bounce, land, it gets you higher, land, it gets you higher, land, it gets you higher. So yeah, this is useful. It can get you up to double high grounds, and this is a powerful option too. So go ahead and use this. Soul Drain was a former vampiric blade adjustment that is now on the boots. Stomping or executing whisk heals you for 150 per second, 150 HP per second. This is actually quite powerful on characters like Oathbreaker, that have the ability to just kind of camp out souls, wisps of allies and enemies. So this is really, really useful. And then you have something like Meditation, which gives you an increased amount of ramping mana regen for yourself when you are standing still, and then now also has the effect of giving it to allies. It is notable that the meditation boots here they give you your mana even while you're using attacks. So if you're playing a character like Ghost and you're just spamming people from long range with your, you know, your amplifier tech blade, that's just giving you a buttload of CDR, you're going to be able to keep farming it up while you're using it. So that is like quite powerful and quite nasty. So yeah. All right, so another quick little thing about these abilities here is that when you kill enemies, you're going to get these power shards down here. These power shards are useful for upgrading your tech, your items. And when you upgrade them, you're going to get some extra powers here. So I don't have the ability to get them in the practice range because the practice range, you know, lost them for some reason. But you can also pick up items that have the same exact type. So any type of tech blade will give me, you know, if I have amplifier, which is a tech blade variation. If I pick up a tech blade I find in a death box or on the train or on the ground, it will upgrade it. And so when you upgrade it to the next level, you get extra stats. So I'm at 180 ability power and 18% ability haste. When I pick these up, it's going to upgrade and it's going to be 190 to 19%. And so this is useful. It helps, right? Obviously. But it's not as useful as having the core powers in general. Gosh, I'm getting hunted over here. I think I need one more and I can upgrade it to red. No, it just dropped it and replaced it. Oh, hold me. Anyway, I think you guys get the picture here. Gosh, the game is griefing me while I'm trying to make this video. The increases that you get are not crazy high. You're getting like plus 10% ability power, or for the HP items, you're getting like an additional like 30 or 40 on them with some extra stats. They're nice, nothing inherently crazy. at like the white level for Tech Blade, it's at like 13% ability haste. So you're getting, you know, when you max it out, you're getting like an additional 50%. This orange is not actually the max level, it's red now, but because it goes green, well, it goes white, green, blue, purple, orange, and then red. So, you know, but this would require like killing a lot of people. So to have like killing 10 enemies and having 10 power shards to level up with, or farming a bunch of mobs. But you do get extra stats for it, so if you have them, go ahead and use them while you're in the game. But it's more important to prioritize getting your items up to blue. So, you know, if you're at, like, you have a power shard and your teammate has, and you have your items at 2 blues, so you have your amplifier and then you have your ambush here, you're going to want to go ahead and give your power shards to your enemy or to your allies by clicking them and dragging them and dropping them. Or to your allies, sorry, so that they can get the bonus, right? Because having a little bit of extra ability haste or whatever is nowhere near as valuable as having that like final extra whole entire ability that they can do, right? All right, so there is actually one more little set of things here to talk about, which is exotic equipment. These equipment are not acceptable in the practice range, unfortunately, but they give you a unique effect, and they can be found by the bosses that spawn at the beginning of the first night. Those bosses spawn, they may have some other rare exotic power, like, you know, magnetic vacuum or guardian archangel or whatever, but they may spawn, right? And so the first one is Endless Reaper, and when you pick it up, you just replace it with one of your other pieces of equipment. You don't have a, you know, you lose that equipment, of course, but then you get this one, right? So Endless Reaper is the first one. Your knocks reset your non-ult abilities. This is extremely useful on a character like Jewel. You know, you kill someone, you pop your stuff, and then you knock them. You don't have to kill them, you just need to knock them, and it resets all your non-ult abilities. So you get a full set of refreshes. So this is really powerful. Just know that you need to be the one that knocks it. So if you're not playing a character that can like actually realistically secure the knocks, then you're not going to get a lot of value out of that. You're not getting a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna. All right, then we have glide boots. These are really cool. When you use your glider, it just gives you a boost as if you use the glider jet's power. And then it resets when you stop using it. So you can just like traverse around the map and chase things down like really, really well and really fast. And then the other one is the Soul Stealer. The Soul Stealer gives you an additional stack of ability power when you kill or assist on a new enemy, right? So any enemy you haven't killed before or assisted before, you get a stack of damage, and then you lose 1 soul when you die. So when you die, you lose 1 stack of this. This one isn't nearly as good. I honestly don't really recommend picking it up over a lot of things, just because of how much better they are low-key. Like, for example, amplifier could be an exotic equipment. So yeah, guys, that's everything for the equipment guide. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys understand the equipment better, and make sure to throw down any questions you have for me. I'll try my best to answer them, and subscribe to the channel. And thanks guys. Enjoy the game. We're super vibing out here. Have fun.